Boo Radley in this movie? Like, I was looking for a dog. I didn't see a dog. No dog equals tears right here. Where was the dog? Let's stay in touch with you and discuss Beautiful Creatures, the book as well as the movie. Now, no long intros here. I'm just going to tell you there will be spoilers ahead, so if you have not read the book or seen the movie, fair warning, definite spoilers ahead. Now first we're going to talk about the book. I will leave annotations at the bottom if you just want to see the book review or the movie review. You know the drill. Anyway, so let's talk about Beautiful Creatures, the book. It was written by Kami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, and Beautiful Creatures is basically about it is set in Gatlin, South Carolina, a very southern town, and the story is told from Ethan Waite's point of view. Ethan Waite is a regular boy. He desperately wants to get out of his South Carolina town. It's a very dead-end town, not a lot happens, all that kind of stuff. Then he meets a girl named Lena Duquesne, and unlike other girls, she is a caster, or, you know, a witch, but they prefer the term caster. And basically, she is 15. She has said that when she turns 16, she will either be claimed for the light or the dark, you know, the good or the bad. And so the story pretty much takes us through that, the journey through the process of her becoming light or dark. And yeah, so this book is super thick. It's definitely one of the more thicker books I've read in a while. But it seemed pretty thick to me. If you guys have been on this channel for a while, you know I've tried reading this before several times. I think this is about my third or fourth attempt to read this, and the reason I really stuck with it this time is solely because of the movie. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm sorry if it's going to hurt people's feelings. If it's not for the movie, I probably would not have picked this up, but I'm glad the movie came out because I actually really enjoyed this book. Now, ever since I started talking about the book more and more, a lot of you guys have been saying there's a lot of mixed people that are like, the book's awful or the book's great, and I'm falling somewhere in between the middle. I will say that it takes a very, very long time for it to get good, and the reason why I stopped reading it before or never really got into it, because my general rule is if by page 100 I'm really not invested in the story, I don't think I'm going to be invested in it. And with this book, I learned that it takes about 250 pages, at least for me, to really get into the story. It takes a long while for me to get in. And I think that's just because they have a lot of setting up to do with the whole story, because with stories, you have so many grounds to cover. You have to introduce people, introduce the whole, you know, world of things. It's very complicated. I do not envy the authors at all for that, because I could never do that. So I think that's why it takes so long to get into the story, but when I was in, I was in. It was a great book. I highly recommend for you guys that said you didn't like it or you couldn't really finish it. Definitely go back again and try again, and just, I know it's hard, and trust me, from my point of view, it was very hard getting into it. But once you get in, you're in, at least in my opinion. I like this book. I know it's a lot of people's like all-time favorites, like they cherish this book. I don't think that's my case, honestly. It wasn't, I would say it's definitely better than a lot of the books I have read, but it's not one of my top favorites of all time. I fall somewhere in the middle of that. Like, I enjoy it, I want to continue the series on, and I'm hoping that, I've heard a lot that the series gets a lot better, it picks up immensely, and I literally can't wait for that, so I'm excited to read. I'm going to keep the book review very short because it's such a lengthy book. I will say that you will be invested in the characters. It's a confusing book. It's a very confusing book. In fact, when the ending, oh my gosh, like I love the ending because I hate cliffhangers, but a lot of them are written so well, but you hate it. And the ending, I was feeling very confused, and I was like, what happened? I don't have any answers. I don't get it. I think that's how they meant to write it, so you'll read the second one to figure out more answers, which I've heard you do get. You get more answers. So overall, I'm going to give this book a 4 out of 5. It's definitely one of the books I really, like, I love it, but I'm not, like, loving it. I know I kept the book review nice and short because I have a lot to say about the movie. Now, the movie, let's just say I liked the movie, I wasn't sold on it. So, I have a couple, probably a lot of not so great things to say, but I have a couple of good things to say, so bear with me. You know, everyone's got their own opinions. I'm sure you guys know that. I've stated that so many times here, but just bear with it. Now, I'm going to talk about the #1 reason why you should see this movie. The one fact that really redeemed this movie for me was Ethan Waite. Wow! I usually like a lot of characters in movies. Like, I love Katniss from the Hunger Games, she was represented greatly. I love Hermione Granger from Harry Potter, she was represented greatly. But I have never really been truly sold on a character, like a book to movie character, until Ethan Wade. Like, wow, that dude is a good actor. I have no clue what his name is, but wow, he was amazing. I thought it was, I don't know what to say. Like, I just remember watching the movie and I was like, holy crap, this guy is good. Like, this is Ethan Wade, like a true book version, in my opinion. Like, Ethan Wade's just a typical quirky kind of boy, and he's just, I don't know, it was just phenomenal. Definitely go see the movie for him alone. He was amazing in it. The other one I like the wit in the book. I love wit. I like to think I'm witty. I'm probably not really, but I like to think that I am. And I love the conversations in this movie. Like, it was very, I would say rapid, but it was very good conversation. They had good pieces. It was just, if everything ebbed and flowed greatly as far as conversation wise, and I really liked that. Ridley, I was somewhat okay with her. I thought she was good. She wasn't the Ridley I honestly envisioned, because Ridley is supposed to be blonde and she's supposed to be always having a lollipop, and I think when she first started, she was either eating, I think it was strawberries. I was like, I don't know what's up with that, but I really wanted to see the blonde-haired lollipop girl. That's just because you've read it. You've definitely got a clear vision in your mind, because that's what you've actually read. So I wasn't, but I liked her acting. She was great. Emma, not so much for me. And that is because they kind of combined two of the characters in the book into Emma in the movie. Marion was supposed to be in the book. She was supposed to be the librarian and all that kind of stuff, but they kind of combined her with Emma and they made them together. I feel like we didn't see enough Emma in the movie. I felt like I wanted her crosswords in it, and she was supposed to be the caretaker in it, and I was like, I don't know where that happened with it. And also missing were Ethan's dad. He's a very, very huge emotional plot person in the book. Like, you understand Ethan more just because you know about his dad, and I think he's a very strong sense in the book, but he was maybe brought up once in the movie, and then as well as Ethan's mom brought up once in the movie. I was like, we're gonna leave that out. So there's quite a few things I didn't like, as you can see. There's just, and the fact that I understand book to movie adaptations are hard to do. You can't ever really stay true to this book, 'cause I mean, holy crap, look at this book. That's a lot you're gonna have to, like, exactly replicate. Condense things, and you have to shorten things, and I understand that. I expect that. I expect things to be changed. I'm for it, you know? It's from a movie. There's things I think you can change. But this movie, like, they changed a lot. Like, I think huge plot things. Just like I told you guys in Silver Linings Playbook, they changed huge plot things. I think they changed a lot in Beautiful Creatures. When they did the Civil War flashbacks, when they both touched it, I felt like that whole scene was like, rush, 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 rush. Like, it was like, oh my god, fire, la la la, shooting, da, da. I'm like, holy crap, like, this is quick. Like, I was like, what the heck's going on? And then Genevieve, she started the curse, and what happens in the movie that's so different from the book is that when her love, Ethan, dies, she, does a spell to revive him, and then he, wakes up from being dead, and she immediately kills him right then and there. And then she goes on some rampage and kills all these other guys, like, and then she's like, she's definitely evil. And I was like, that definitely did not happen in the book. Now, the book, what happens is Genevieve revives Ethan, and the one thing that really resonated with me with the book was one thing they kept saying, and I'll probably say this wrong, is you can't get something without something being taken from you, as far as, doing spells and that kind of stuff. And I really wish they emphasized that more in the movie. That was not very clear in the movie. It's just, she just immediately, when she resurrected her lover, is like, bam, I'm gonna kill you, you're dead, I'm evil, that's it. And in the book, when he rises, he dies from his own, like, she has no control over that, he dies. And that's when she learns, that's when somebody else that's with her, I forget who, is like, you can't get something without something being taken from you, and that's, when she becomes evil. Oh, and another thing that I really didn't like was the fact that Lena, like, erased her from Ethan's memory, and then he apparently was asleep the whole time that this whole claiming happened. I was like, what? I don't really like Seraphine. I think she was a great portrayed. I love her acting. I forget who was her, but she did great, phenomenal. I didn't like that Lena was able to kill Seraphine. That was definitely not in the book. I haven't read the other book, so I'm hoping that she, you know, makes a reappearance in the forthcoming books so you can figure out more about her. And, you know, she's definitely not supposed to die in the book or the movie, you know what I'm saying? That definitely didn't happen, so I was like, what? And I didn't enjoy that. I don't know if they're setting this up to be a series of movies, but in my opinion, the way they ended it, it felt like a... I mean, I could see how they can make another movie, especially the way they ended it, you know, with him like Lena, and then, you know, him remembering all that kind of stuff, but that's so far-fetched from the book that I was like, I don't know how they're going to continue on with this movie, because they killed Seraphine, you know, Lena, all that kind of stuff. There were so many loose ends that were just not... And I understand the book has a lot of loose ends that probably come tied together more into the books, but the movie, the ending, I just did not enjoy. The fact that she could just take away Ethan's memory and that he was asleep during the whole thing. Not for all the badness of it, I don't think it was an amazing book-to-movie adaptation. Let's take it from a movie just perspective, take the book out of it, amazing movie. The score was great, the cinematography was great, the acting phenomenal, Lena was great, Ethan was great, everyone was great acting in this movie. The movie was great on its own. So, as fairing as a book to a movie adaptation, I think that's where it flawed. It changed just so much for me for such a well-loved series, and changing so many drastic things. And I understand condensing, and I understand that some of the things I let go very easily because, you know, you can't make everyone happy. That's just the bottom line with it. But changing so many things, so many huge plot points is where it really downfell for me. The redeeming things, I think, in it were Ethan Waite. Please go see it for him. He was amazing in it. But I think that's it. So no more hate stuff from me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give this film a 3 out of 5 because I liked it, didn't love it, wasn't over the moon about it, nor did I super duper hate it. Let me know what you guys thought of it, and let's discuss it. Let's talk and let's hash it out. That is all for me, and I will see you guys this coming week for my Safe Haven book to movie review. Maybe they'll do it better. Who knows? Bye, guys.
It ain't too easy to tell you the words here on my lips. They've been behind my teeth too long. So I'm setting fire to